The Integrated School Forms, a fully automated teacher-friendly electronic forms template which was originally designed to address the issues of the LIS modified school forms, established during the beginning of 2015 with an automated SF1 and SF5 only. Through time, the Integrated School Forms developed and incorporated more templates and worksheets. The Integrated School Forms is macro-based under binary file, built with a multi-sheet MS Excel configure dashboard, a file type output which is commonly used to render large coded files and compress it to load faster than an ordinary macro-based template. Powered with one E-class record for all levels. All teachers can share the same file regardless of grade level between 1 to 10. It also distinguishes the learning areas available for a specific grade level as the teacher encodes his profile. There is no need to change files for a particular grade level since the ISF will store all of your data under one single template. With a grading sheet report generator for all quarters, the Integrated School Forms has a ready-made template quarterly grading sheet per subject with just a click of a button and a quarterly summary sheet of all subjects for the whole school year. In addition to that, the file has a final grading sheet report generator that automatically ranks student performance and recognizes the top-performing students for honor awardees by the end of the school year. The Integrated School Forms also has an automatic standardized report card template based on EPED Order No. 8 series of 2015 prototype. A unique template that looks up all student registry and learning area performance which are ready to print per quarter. No need to write the grades quarterly. The file does everything for you. More importantly, since report cards are ready to print, the cost efficiency reduced from an average of 10 pesos per student down to 50 centavos. More than 95% of the MOOE funds for report cards purchasing has been saved. It also includes a nutritional status BMI report template that automatically computes the body mass index of each student along with the height for age interpretative results. The teacher does not need to check the tedious table for each student, which takes so much time, again reducing the time on task spent to more than 100% efficiency. A summary table is also readily available at the bottom of the sheet for each nutritional report. An automated field area template for pre- and post-test comes with the Integrated School Forms which interpret the student's reading level based on their reading performance. The automated field area is available for English and Filipino both in silent reading and oral reading. All 6 field area templates housed with one file and easily accessible. Along with the field area template, a class reading profile is already available automatically by the end of the school year. No need for editing or encoding of field area results since the template searches all data and interprets it for you. The Integrated School Forms also comes from a single file LIS School Form source. The teacher only needs to download the School Form 1 from the LIS website and use to generate all needed data to be used in a ready-to-print, fully automated School Form 1, School Form 3, and School Form 5. Most of all, it also has a distinct SF2 automation template for the whole school year. The incompatibility, issues, and discrepancies of using the shading system of the SF2 is now computer-generated for accuracy and reliability. There is no need to compute the class enrollment summary every month as well, since the template does all of these already. The dates are also auto-generating depending on the number of school days indicated per month. The Integrated School Forms also has an exclusive academic teacher ECR for all subjects and grade levels. Floating subject teachers do not need to have multiple MS Excel files every school year. Common complaint with the ECR today is it's not efficient for subject teachers, especially for those teaching MAPE in more than 5 sections per grade level. Imagine handling 80 MS Excel files every school year for grading your students. That would be very exhausting. But with the academic teacher ECR, they only need to use one file for all subjects, regardless of grade level and number of sessions being taught. The integrated school forms is ready to use, which can accommodate 200 students. This is to address secondary schools population, which are sometimes more than the standard class size. All templates in the integrated school forms are built with a unique auto-hide feature for blank rows. Teachers won't need to bother themselves hiding and unhiding the unused rows for their files manually, which many of our teachers do not even know how to do. With one click of a button, the template automatically hides unused rows and unhides it if so desired. The ISF is also compatible with the DepEd computerization program. The template is designed using the latest features of the softwares installed in all DCP packages. Most of all, the integrated school forms has been recognized and endorsed by the Microsoft Education Ambassadors last year at the Division of Tagum City during their Division ICT Literacy Workshop for Teachers held at Raj Hotel. This is the integrated school forms of Manuel L. Cazon Elementary School. It is simple, efficient, and ambitious.
Hello everyone, Sir WEDZ here of the ISF Media or the Integrated School Forms Media back for another discussion video regarding the district and school monitoring evaluation and adjustment reports. So if you are new to our channel and this is the first time you actually watch our video, please don't forget to subscribe and always click the notification bell icon to keep updated with our latest videos, broadcasts, and other tutorial templates which we are giving out for free. You can find our channel by clicking here. This is our YouTube channel, ISF Media, and you can also catch us in our Facebook page, which you can find here. This is our Facebook page here. Yep, that's the one. That's the Facebook page, which is the Integrated School Forms Facebook page. And tonight we will be discussing, as I was saying, we will be discussing the discrepancies found in the slide deck of the Regional Monitoring Evaluation and Adjustment Report templates, which we were discussing during our previous videos for parts 1 and 2. I would like to apologize for the noise because I'm staying here in our terrace, so that's why I'm very close to the neighbors, and I want to be close with my router as well, so that's why I want to stay. I opted to stay here. Then again, it is what it is, and we do what we need to do just to show you our new discoveries or learning from the different endeavors that we were working on for our agency. And again, the advocacy of the Integrated School Forms channel is to help our teachers make their tasks a lot more efficient and effective, especially here that as we are engaging with the new normal and as we are implementing the limited face-to-face classes for school year 2021-2022. But enough for that. We'll be discussing the DisMEA and SMEA reports, which were discussed previously, and the discrepancies that we saw, especially in the graphs that were presented in the slide decks. For the previous videos, if you haven't watched it, we had two videos, two live broadcasts, which were really are noisy as much, but right now they're becoming very noisy, and I don't know why. I don't know what's with tonight, but because the kids are actually outside, our neighbor kids are actually outside. The dog of our neighbor is also barking at them. Ugh. But anyway, we'll continue. Again, as I was saying, the school monitoring evaluation report is a summary report of the different activities or accomplishments of the school using different targeted physical targeted targets based on their different KRAs or key resource areas, which are access, quality, and governance. So each of these KRAs will have different physical targets and will be accounted with different numbers of physical targets, which will be accumulated based on the number of accomplished physical targets, how many were the gaps and balances from those physical targets, and the gains that were accomplished as they were accomplishing their physical targets. So moving on, let's go to the slide deck again. So I'm gonna show you the slide deck that was used last time. So here we are. So this is the slide deck. As you can see, this is the slide deck that was used for reference in the accomplishment of the DisMEA and the SMEA, or the School Monitoring Evaluation and Adjustment Reports. So ito po lahat yung ginagamit na reference ng mga schools namin dito sa Region 11. So as you can see, these are the physical targets based on access, quality, and governance. I hope you can see it. So these are the KRAs for the physical accomplishment profile. So physical accomplishment profile. So that's the physical accomplishment profile for a particular quarter, and then it will all be consolidated by the end of the year. So this is for fiscal year 2022 because we are now in school year 2021-2022. And then each KRA will have a physical target, the number of physical target, and the accomplished from the number of physical targets for access, quality, governance, and the total of all the three KRAs. So we didn't have an issue with that because it was just mainly we didn't have an issue with that because it was mainly just summing up all of the number of accomplished physical targets and compared with the perceived physical targets, which is colored green here in our graph, and then compared it from one another. And then whatever are the gaps and gains from the physical target versus the perceived physical target will be represented into another graph, which you will see here. So for example, this is the gain performance, which means the total number of accomplished targets versus the perceived physical target. So basically, if for example here, let's go back here. If for example you had 135 physical targets, and then the total achieved physical targets would be 135 as well. Oh, no, this one. Let's see here. Quality. So here in quality, you see they have 37 physical targets, perceived physical targets, and then they also have 37 achieved targets. But if the total achieved targets actually exceeds the total number of perceived targets, then therefore that exceeded number of physical targets will be considered as a gain. And if the total number of achieved physical targets is lesser than the perceived physical target, it will automatically be addressed as a gap or a balance. So here we have 37 and 37, but it could be that the 37 achieved physical target is not actually the total number of physical targets accomplished, because there's a possibility that there is an actual gain from the number of physical targets accomplished. And if there is, then it will be represented in the gains graph. So this is the gains graph. So for example, they indicated that there is actually 2 physical targets here in the gain performance. It means that the number of physical targets that were accomplished actually exceeded the total number of perceived physical targets for that particular quarter. The discrepancy here is, as you can see in the graph, they had 135 perceived physical target, and then they only had 132 achieved physical targets. But when they went to the gains, they actually indicated that there were 2 exceeding accomplished physical targets, when in fact it should have been a gap. You see, 135, 132, it should have been 3 gaps. So this should have been 0. So that's the problem there. It should have been 0. So the graph in your gain performance should have 0 here, and then it should have a possibility of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 depending on your data. But here, since they said that it actually had 2, that implies that the number of physical achieved targets, the achieved physical targets, was actually 39 versus the 37 perceived physical targets. So they had 2. And then here they had another 3, which is a discrepancy between the 53 and 49. When in fact, the achieved physical target is actually lesser than the perceived physical target. So it should have been 4 in the gaps or balance graph. It should have been 0 here in our gain performance. So that's the first discrepancy that we can see in the sample presentation. So as you can, because as I was saying, even if it is a sample, the sample should have been accurate, because you cannot give something as a sample and then it's inaccurate. The purpose of it being an example is actually really wrong. So if you are going to model an example, if you're going to be teaching in a classroom and you're going to be modeling something, you should be modeling something that is actually correct and accurate. If you're just going to be modeling something and then it's not accurate, then why model it in the first place? So that's the first thing. The second thing here that you can see is the overall performance is actually 7. So they actually added it all up. 2 plus 2 plus 3, that would be 7. So there's nothing wrong there. But the problem here is the rate is 2.53%. So how did they get to 2.53%? That is actually the rate of the gain performance for all 3 KRAs. So in order to compare, since the gain performance is relative to the physical accomplishment profile, we need to identify how did they get these particular data. So this is actually the rate, and this would be the base. The what do you call this? The base. So you can call this a base. So if you're familiar with mathematics, the formula is actually principal is equal to base times rate. So it's PBR. So the principal or the origin is equal to the base, which is the part of the principal, a fraction of the principal, multiplied to the rate. So what we have now is the base and the rate. So if you're going to look at that here in our graph, so let's look at here in our Excel. So this is the base is forgive me, I was wrong. The base is equivalent to principal base is equal to principal times rate. I was wrong. I get confused. Anyway, so the base, no, this is actually wrong. This is wrong. It's actually base. This is principal is equal to base times rate. See, my presentation is wrong, so I need to correct it. So the principal is equivalent to the base times rate, which means that the base is equal to the principal divided by the rate. So we have the principal already, we also have the rate already, but the base isn't there. So we need to identify that. So we have here, so let's try to create a table for that. So let's have KRAs, and then we have axis. We have axis. We have governance. KRA, axis governance. Quality, axis, quality, governance. Quality and governance. I need to zoom this in so that you can see. Let me see. Hope you can see that. So we have we'll create a table. So we have the KRAs here. I'm gonna bold that one. So we have the principal or the P, And then we have the rate. So we need to get the base, which is the origin from the created result. So we have the principal is 2, 2, 3. So we'll get 2, 2, 3. And then the rate would be 1.48%. And then 5.41%. And then 5.66%. We didn't get the percent. Okay. Percent. There you go. And total. So the total is actually the sum of all of these. So that's 7. So that's actually correct. So you got 7. So the total of this one is 12.55%. So if you're going to convert that into percent, we'll just go here. So that's 12.55 or 13%. We'll get to the decimal places. So that's 12.55%. So if you go here, it actually says 2.53%, which is, not correct. It's really not correct. So the first assumption was it might have been the average of all of the 3 different rates. So if you get the sum for all of these, you get the average equals average of all of the 3. That's actually 4.18%. Still, it's way off than the 2.53%, which is actually presented in our graph. So in order to get that accurately, we'll need to see if the rate that is 1.48%, 5.41%, 5.66% are also accurate. If they are accurate, then most likely you get it. You'd probably get the sum of all of the bases to be accurate as well. So let's see. So the formula is principal divided by rate. So this is the principal, and then we're going to divide that with the rate. So that's going to be the base. So that's 135.1350. Okay, let's just copy all of that, and then we're going to put it as a whole number. Okay, so we have 135, 37, and 53. Let's remember that one. That's 135, 37, and 53. So we're going to go back here. That's 135, 37, and 53. So they were actually referring to the accomplishment profile. The physical target accomplishment profile. They were actually referring here that the base was originally coming from the physical accomplishment profile. So technically these values should have been accurate, apart from the fact that it's actually inaccurate from the principle itself, since there were actually gaps. But let's just ignore that for now. But the computation in and by itself is actually correct. So if this is actually the correct representation of all of this data for the principal and rate, then let's get the sum of these 3. So let's put it here. So let's just say equals sum, the sum of all of these values. Let's highlight all of that one, press enter. So that's 225. Let's go back, let's see. It's 225, so it's correct. They are actually talking about the same data. So that's 225. Now, let's see if this formula that we used here, if we're going to use it on this one, we'll get 225. That's 167 right there. Way off. Totally way off. But we use the average. How about if we use the sum? Equals sum of all of these 3. Still, that's 56. Totally way off. So as you can see, there's so much wrong with their data. That's the problem. The sample profile for the gains is very, very off. Having it 2.53% is really, really off. So what if we're going to use the 2.53% here? So let's get 2.53%. Let's try that one. Let's just, for the sake of argument, let's use that one. That's 277. But our total is only 225. We have a difference of how many? 52. Is that right? 52? Let's see. Equals this one minus that one. Yep, 52. We have 52 missing physical targets. Where are those 52 missing physical targets? So we need to look for that one, but we can't because it is not there. So how do we fix our graph if we are going to implement it in our school monitoring evaluation and adjustment report and our district monitoring evaluation and adjustment report? Well, basically, you need to ignore this one. You just have to ignore this one. What you need to do is to use this formula that we used. So that would be, we need to get this one. We're going to remove that one. So we have the principal already. What we need now is the rate and the base, but we already know the base. The base is the sum of all of these KRAs. So we get the sum for all of the three KRAs. So that's going to be 225. So what you're going to do is to get 7 divided by 225 and press enter, and that's 3.11%. So basically your rate should be 3.11%. So this should have been 3.11% instead of 2.53%. So that's how you fix the gain performance in the graph in your slide deck. Now we're gonna move on to our gap and balance. So in our gap and balance, they said that they had 3, 0, 4, and 7. So they had 3, 0, 4, and 7. The gap or balance means that the physical targets, the number of perceived physical targets, were not accomplished versus the accomplished physical targets. So, in other words, in layman's term, mas maliit yung na-achieve kaysa sa plenano. Example, ito. Ito yung plano, ito yung natamo. Yung plano, 135. Yung natamo, 132 lang. So, merong discrepancy na 3 physical targets. It means, ito yung gap. Kasi kulang. So, dapat dito, 3. Oh, so tama yung ginawa nila, 3. Tapos, kasi 37 ito, dapat 0. So, 0 din ba? 0. So, itong sa kabila, 53 and 49. 53 yung plano, 49 lang yung natamo. So, merong discrepancy na 4. So, yung 4 ba yung nakalagay dito? So, 4 din. So, ito 7. So, bakit ito naging 7? Kasi 3 plus 4, 7. And you can also compare that here with 225 minus 218. That would be 7. So, tama yun. So, how did they compute that? That would be, let's see. Ito yung ano, di ba? Let's copy this one. Ito yung target, di ba? So, ito yung ano nila. Tanggalin natin itong, yung principal, kunin natin yung principal, 3. So, 3, tapos 0, tapos 7.55, 4. So, that's 7. So, 1.48, 5.41, 5.66. This is not the right ones. So, we're gonna get it. So, this is 3 divided by 203. Okay, wait. Oh, yeah, I forgot. So, this is fixed. Yeah, we need to fix that one. 135, that's 135, 37, 53, and yep, that's the one. So we're gonna get equals the principal divided by the base. So that's 2.22%, and we're just gonna drag that formula down. So we have 2.22%, 0%, 7.55%, and 3.11%. So they have 2.22%, 0%, 7.55%, and 3.25%, which is, is this the sum? 135, 137, and 53. Meron tayong discrepancy dito, 3.25%. Oo. Kasi mali yung sa total kasi sila parati nagkakamali eh. Yun yung problema sa kanila. Doon sila nagkakamali. Ewan ko saan nila kinukuha yung total nila eh. Yung total kasi dito, maliwanag naman, nakalagay yun, 225. Ito, 225. So, pareho naman yung formula nila. Kukunin mo yan, dadrag mo yan down, pareho-pareho yung formula na yan. So, bakit siya yung pagdating dito, siya lang yung iba, 3.25. Ito, 3.11 lang. So, huwag nyo pong sundin yung mga nakikita nyo sa slide deck dyan. Mali po talaga yan. Ewan ko kung paano nila yung kinuha. Anyway, shout out sa Coffee Ko Brown 3-in-1 Coffee. Baka naman. Pati na lang tayo umiinom ng Coffee Ko Brown. Baka naman gusto nyo sponsor dyan. Little trivia. I do not drink hot coffee. Napapasok po yung dila ko agad. Kaya po, kapag uminom ako ng kape, mainit na tubig, lalagay po yan hanggang dyan. Almost kalahati. Dito po. Almost kalahati. Sobra sa kalahati pala. Mga hindi naman 3/4. Sobra 1/2 lang. Tapos lalagyan ko yan siya ng malamig na tubig. Hanggang aabot siya dito. Yan po yung isang mug ko ng Coffee Ko Brown. Minsan po, pag pinupukulo ko naman, hanggang dito, lalagyan ko po ng 2 ice cubes. Para po hindi mainit. Hindi po talaga uminom ng mainit na kape. I can't appreciate it. Anyway, back to gap and balance. So, yan po ang computation natin sa gap and balance. And next, so, again, do not follow the rate that is found in your slide deck sa total. Yung sa bawat KRA, tama po yun. Pero yung sa overall performance na rate, hindi po yun siya accurate. So, balik tayo sa sunod naman sa MOE funds. MOE funds, we had 31,000 and then yung na-accomplish nila is 31,000 lang din. 31,000 din. So that's 100%. It's correct. So 25,000 yung pera na budget pero yung nagamit nila 23,000 lang. Merong discrepancy na 2,000. So 92,000 daw yun. Yung budget nila 120,000, yung nagamit nila 28,000 lang. Kikita ba? 20,268 lang. So merong discrepancy na less than 10,000. Less than 100,000. Tama ba? Yeah, less than 100,000, which is about 16.89%. And then the total is 176,000. Lahat po ng budget, total budget nila is 176,000. Pero yung nagastos po nila is only 74,268. So we're gonna use that one as well. Kukunin po din po natin yan siya. So ito yung kunin natin yung base. Yung base is 31,000, 25,000, and then 120,000. So, total is 176,000. So, that's correct. Magkano po yung nagamit nila, which is the principal? 31,000, 23,000, 20,268, 20,268. So, nagamit nila, all in all, is 74,000. That's 74,268. 74,268. So, pareho po. So, let's see. 100%, 92%, and 16.89%. 100%, 92%, and 16.89%. Yung total nyo pong na rate is 42.20%. Let's see. See? 42.20%. See, ngayon, tumama. Doon sila tumama. Yun lang yung tama nila. So, doon tama po sila sa accomplishment ng rate sa kanilang MOE funds. So, this actually proves na tama yung formula natin. Meron talagang problema doon sa previous data nila sa physical targets nila. Doon sa overall accomplishment rate ng kanilang mga physical targets. Doon na may issue. So, next graph is the gap or balance. So, gap or balance. Kasi, yung gap, ibig sabihin, yung hindi nila nasunod yung budget. Ibig sabihin, kunwari, 10,000 yung budget, yung nagastos nila, 12,000, ang tawag dun gap. Sumobra yung nagastos nila. Yung balance naman, kapag yung 10,000 na budget, hindi nila naubos, yun yung balance. Pero dito sa graph natin kasi, considered as one report ang gap and balance. Kasi nga daw, I think the idea was, it's not always that there's gap in the MOE funds. Kasi rare daw yung instances wherein the school head or the PSDS would actually use other funds that is not allocated for that particular physical target. But I would suggest, kasi sa statistics kasi, when we go into data analysis kasi, the gap is different from the balance. When we say gap, it exceeds the certain amount. When we say balance, it did not deplete or it did not accumulate the whole budget. Yun yung balance. Mayroon pang sobra. So it's not the same thing. So I think it would have been appropriate if there is a different gap for gap, a different graph for gap, and a different graph for balance. Or the gap should have been represented as a negative value. Kasi sumobra eh. So merong excess na expenditure. So it should have been a negative value. And then yung balance, it should have been a positive value. Kasi when you're saying balance, nakasave ka. Yun yung immediate implication niya eh. Hindi pa nauubos. So meron pang savings. It could have been hindi pa naubos yung total project kasi progressive yung project. It's a continuous project for the next 4 quarters, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. So progressive yung project. So meron pa rin yung balance. It's still a positive representation kasi hindi pa rin nauubos yung budget. So it should have been, the balance should have been represented in a positive value or positive amount kasi pera ang pinag-uusapan. When it comes to the gap, it should have been represented as a negative value. Ganun sana kung ilalagay natin siya sa isang graph. Ganun dapat yun. And then the graph should have been left and right. Meron siyang left axis, sa x-axis meron siyang left, which is a negative value, and then sa right, yun yung positive value niya. Yung parang bell curve. Ganun yun eh. Yun yung purpose. Data analysis kasi to, and this is actually statistics. So, kailangan ganun siya. Dapat, we should be representing the data correctly and accurately kasi pera ang pinag-uusapan eh. And then this is a government money, so it should have been done that way. But it's just my opinion, my point of view. Kasi math major tayo, so yun yung natin. Anyway, continuing, so it says here that there is no gap or balance in the first KRA or KRA1 in the access. Let's see. So, nakalagay dito, sana yun? Ayan. So, kasi yung budget daw, 31,000, naubos yung 31,000, so it's zero. So, no gap, no balance. Yeah. Dali naman maintindihin yun. So, ito, yung budget daw, 25,000. Pero yung nagamit, 23,000. Merong discrepancy na 2,000. Yung 2,000, ano yun? Balance. So, balance yung 2,000. Pero nakalagay siya sa gap or balance. Kung hindi mo makita itong graph na ito, you will be asking ano tong 2,000. Nagets niyo po? Kapag po hindi pinakita sa inyo yung graph na ito or hindi kayo aware sa graph na ito, you were not given the data of the 25,000 and the 23,000, you will not know what's this 2,000. Is this an excess from the supposed budget or a savings from the supposed budget? Yun. Nakuha natin. Yun po yung punto nun. So that's 2,000. And then for the KRA3 governance na 120,000 yung budget, yung naubos nila is only 20,268. So meaning meron na naman tayong balance. So the balance would be 99,732 pesos. So dapat yung mga ganito kasi money yung pinag-uusapan is we're talking about pera. This should have had a comma sign after the third decimal number. So, ones, tens, hundreds, 100 sign, in between the 1,000 sign, dapat nilagyan ito ng comma. Ano? Tulad nito, yan nilagyan nila ng comma. Dapat meron din itong comma. And same here, dapat meron din yan siyang comma para malaman agad natin sa representation. Especially, this is a visual representation kasi dapat makita agad, ayun, 99,000 yun. Yun yung agad na makikita. So, that's one. And then, so that is accumulated as 83.11%, which is accurate naman po. 120,000 minus 268, that's actually, let's see, 237. So, 72309, okay. Let's see, 723, 268, 723 nga. Yeah, 723. Tama nga. See? So, this is actually correct. This is accurate. Yung ano niya is 83.11%. And then the total of all of these, so 99,000 plus 2,000, that would be 101,000 plus 732, so that's 101,000. So, see, that's correct, which is approximately 57.8%. So the question here is, tama ba tong mga approximations nila? So since this is gap and balance from the previous data, which is this one, since this is a gap and from the previous data, and we have proven that all of the data here is actually accurate. Ito, tama to siya lahat. Since this is all correct, the gap and balance is only the difference between the achieved target versus the perceived amount. Kumbaga, ang gap is only the difference between magkano ang nagastos sa dapat na pera. So, dahil ito 100, 31, 100, so dapat 0, so 0%. Madali lang yun. Ito kasi 92% daw ito, 25,000 is 92%, 23,000 is 92% of 25,000, so yung gap niya is 2,000, so yung 2,000 is magkano? 8%. Kasi i-minus mo yung 100 sa 92. 8%. Tingnan natin. So yun, 8% nga. So yun, tama siya. So if this is 16.89%, yan yung amount niya is 16.89%. So that should have been around 70, 80, 87, 83. Yun, 83.11%. See? And 57.8% should be the difference between 100 minus 42.20. So 100 minus 42.20, that would be 57.8%. So yun yung tama. Yun yung correct. Yan po yung tama. No? So we do not have an issue with the MOE funds graph and the MOE funds physical target computation between the principal base and rate. So wala tayong problema. Nagkaroon lang tayo ng problema dito sa sa accomplishment reports natin, dito sa overall performance pagdating sa rate ng kanilang data. Kasi, unang-una sa lahat, ito po siya, pagdating po dito sa gain performance, hindi na po accurate itong 2, 2, 3. Kasi nga po, gain siya. Bakit siya nagkaroon ng gain dito? Wala naman po siyang gain dyan. So, yan po yung binigay, no? So, yan po yung binigay kasi sa atin na sample. So, you were just judging the sample. I am not saying that this was the first sample that was made or that was presented to all of the schools in our region. I'm not saying that, pero ito yung binigay sa akin. So I'm only judging from the file that was sent to me. So regardless of this is accurate or not, I am showing everyone that this is how to correct and how to get the solution on the different data found in your SMEA and district DisMEA reports. So, ang importante po kasi dito, makuha natin kung paano po siya i-compute. Kasi you cannot create an analysis and interpretation on the data if the data cannot be processed correctly. So, sa data processing po, ito po yung data processing. So, once the data na-process na po siya natin ng maayos, we can now proceed to analysis and interpretation of the said data. So, tinuturo po natin ngayon dito yung correct way of data processing or the method of processing the data that was accumulated or that was submitted in your districts or in your schools ng mga ng mga teachers ninyo who were helping out in accomplishing the school monitoring evaluation and adjustment reports. So yan po yung tamang paraan in computing your SMEA. Ulitin po natin, ang ginamit po natin na formula is principal is equal to base times rate. So in order to get the base from the said rate, to check kung tama ba yung nangyari, was principal divided by rate. So kunin na po natin yun siya, makukuha na po natin agad yung data natin. So yan po yung naging basis natin sa ating sa ating computation tonight sa ating DisMEA and School Monitoring Evaluation and Adjustment Report. So yan po. And nakasimula na po akong kasi po, ayan na po, nagsimula na po akong mag-compute ng aking mga data. So yan na po. Nagsa-start na po ako. Yan po yung pinakita natin last time. I did not change it. Kasi po, nagsisimula na po ako. I want to have a baseline graph wherein I can play around with it. So, ito na po yung meron na po akong ayan na. So, yan na po. Nagsisimula na po ako from our data bank. Ito po yung data bank namin. Ayan na po siya lahat. Kalagay na po yan siya dyan. Okay? So, that's our presentation for tonight, and I'm really sorry for the barking of the dog in our neighbor and the kids that are running around in the street. Kasi po, I'm living in a very, very urban area here in Davao City, wherein magkakalapit lang po yung mga bahay namin. So, enjoy po. Medyo bibo naman po yung lugar namin, nakakatuwa. Kahit po alas 10 na ng gabi, yung mga bata nagtatakbuhan pa. Ewan ko bakit ganun. I grew up in a village when I was young, way back when I was still in school. Excuse me. I grew up in a subdivision wherein 6 p.m. Imagine, 6 p.m. All the kids are already at home. I was already at home. I already took my evening bath. And then I'm about to take dinner, and then after dinner, I'll be staying at home. I'll just be staying there. If it's weekdays, I'll be doing assignments or homework, and then my mom will let me go out. If it's weekend nights, I will be watching TV, depending on what my uncle is watching. He holds the remote, so whatever he's watching, I get to watch that. But here, wow, believe me, kids here do not go out until 9 a.m. in the morning. They don't go out until 9 a.m. Around 9 a.m., they're out. They're playing around. They go out on the street and getting noisy and all that stuff. And they won't stop until 9 or 10 p.m. in the evening. And it's almost 10 p.m. Kids are still out. If I'm going to go out right now, I'm going to bring out my laptop and so that you can see the street. Kids are still there. They're still playing. That's how bibo our community is. But it is what it is, and I love our place. And yeah, I'm living in a barangay, and kids here still have a lot of future, and I'm really thinking of that in a way that I hope they also still see hope in them. Problema kasi ng mga kabataan ngayon, kakaunti na lang yung may pangarap. I think this is one thing that schools should still engage with our kids. Hindi lang yung yung sa guidance day, yung magsusuot sila ng costume, yun yung maging, it's not just about that. Kasi yung pumipili ng costume ng anong susutin ng bata, yung nanay pupulis, nurse. Pero ang tanong, ano ba talaga gusto ng bata? What does the kid really want to grow up? When I was a kid, I really wanted to be an engineer. And then I met my uncle. I wanted to be a doctor. And when I realized that takot ako sa injections, I said, I can't do that. Takot ako sa dugo. So sabi ko, hindi ako pwede mag-doktor. And when I was in high school, I had a teacher in high school. bless her, she really hated my guts. I don't know. She was my physics teacher. I don't know if she hated me or what. I was, believe it or not, I was in an activity wherein it's not really curriculum related. So she was saying, unahin mo pa yan. Babagsak na talaga. We were talking about physics. And then I told her, Ma'am, ko sa kanya, I said, it's in Visayan. I'm just gonna share this one. I said, Ma'am, pag college na ako, ma'am, pag magka-college na ako, ma'am, sabi ko, magti-teacher ako, ma'am. May major ko rin, ma'am, physics, ma'am. Pag graduate na ako, ma'am, papalitan kita dito, ma'am. Sa kanya. Papalitan kita dito, ma'am. Sabi ko sa kanya. And then she said, oh, talaga? Sige, hintayin kita next year, ha? Tingnan ko kung mag-physics major ka talaga, ha? And when I got into college, and I was choosing my course, and I really wanted to be a teacher because I really hated her guts too. I said, I'm gonna prove to her that I'm gonna become a better teacher. So I said, gonna take on education, I'm gonna choose education. So choosing a major. And I saw the prospectus. I said physics, I had science, history, Aralpan, Filipino, English, math, and physics. I was looking all of it, and I said, nah. I crashed everything out. I took physics. I said, look at the prospectus just like that. I said, oh. No. I'm not taking this course. This is suicide. So I didn't. I said, okay, no. What's next? I said, Filipino? Nah. I don't want to read a lot of novels. So, crash that. English, yeah, novels. Crash that. History. I don't want to talk about dead people. Crash that. So, science. Blood. Crash that. Math. You're not gonna memorize anything. You're not gonna read a lot of novels. I'm gonna be dealing with numbers, which is somewhat close to physics. So I said, yeah, I'm gonna be a math major. So I took up math. So I had a secondary education degree in mathematics, and then when I got back to my alma mater in high school, USEP, University of Southeastern Philippines Laboratory School. So when I went back a year after, I met my former physics teacher, and she was asking me, Dung! She was asking me, Dung, unya, nag-physics major ka? Or she was saying, did you really take up physics? I said, yes, ma'am, I took up education. And she said, really? Physics major? And I said, no, ma'am, math major. And she was laughing out loud. But, it's an inspiration. It's a motivation. That's what teachers should be doing. They should engage with that to their children, to their students. Get the kids dream. If the kids don't have dreams, studying really ain't gonna do anything for them. You're just gonna stop it. They won't be motivated to go to school. If you're gonna tell the kids that if you're gonna graduate college, you're gonna get a nice job, you're gonna get money. No, that's not enough anymore. That's not enough anymore to motivate children. I had a student before. He was thinking that if he's going to finish school, he's gonna have money. Now he stopped schooling, and what is he doing? He became a parker. Someone who is taking up parks, and he's earning from that about 600 to 700 pesos per day. And he told me, well, what's the use for school? I already have money. See, if a kid doesn't have a dream, if the purpose of going to school is just to earn, it's not enough to get your children to go back to school. So anyway, it is what it is. That's about it. I think we're gonna wrap up our session for tonight. So I'm gonna go online again maybe next time, about 3 or 4 days from now. and I'm going to show you our accomplished district monitoring evaluation adjustment report with all of the graphs, including my dashboard, so that you can also see and you can pick up some ideas what you could actually do in your own reports, in your own divisions, districts, or schools in your respective localities. So this is our WEDZ of the Integrated School Forms Media. I'm hoping that you actually learned something from us tonight, and I also hope that you can subscribe to our channel and always click the notification bell to keep updated with our latest videos, broadcasts, and free templates that we will be distributing every now and then that will help ease your tasks in the Department of Education. Again, if you wanna follow us, you can follow us here in our Facebook page at Integrated School Forms, and subscribe to our channel, which is the ISF Media, which is you are watching right now, and always click the notification bell to get notified with our latest updates. This is Sir WEDZ of ISF Media. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.